1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Hey screeners, welcome back to another episode. I'm Ricky.
And I'm Brittany.
And we are Paper
Screen.
Screen. So Brittany, what have you been up to?
I just read Clara in the Sun and I went into it blind, like I like to do everything, and it was really cute. It ended up being kind of like a Megan doll, but it's not a horror book.
Oh.
So it's more cute. I really liked it. I read it in like 2 days. Anyway, that's all I got. But what have you been up to?
Well, I made a little short film with my boyfriend over the summer. It's called It Heads Home, and I'm not going to say too much about it, but it is a horror comedy. And then I've also been reading It Came From the Closet, a book that Brittany got me for Pride, which is like queer reflections on horror cinema, essays from different people, just like writing their personal experiences in relation to whatever horror movie. Well, I guess that segues to our topic of this episode. Brittany, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about what is said to be the, scariest or the best horror film of 2023, which is
Talk to Me. Talk to me.
Oh, crikey, talk to me.
Now say, I let you in.
As always, we would encourage you watch it before you listen.
There's definitely going to be spoilers in this episode. I am really excited to talk about this movie because I've been hyped to see this movie since the release of the trailer and like the festival buzz, because it was in like Sundance, and then A24 like picked this up. So I'm like really excited to talk about this, and I hope that everyone that's listening has seen this movie because there's a lot to unpack. So I guess we can just get right into this movie. It's about a group of teenagers discovering how to conjure spirits using an embalmed hand, and they become instantly hooked. And it's like a new thrill ride to them. One of them takes it too far and unleashes this terrifying supernatural force. It's starring Sophie Wilde, who is terrific. Zoe Terex, Joe Bird, and Miranda Otto, who we've seen in like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And this is directed by the guys from Raka Raka.
Danny and Michael Philippou. These are twin brothers who are, like we mentioned, they're Australian, and they had their big start from having YouTube presence, a channel called Raka Raka. Anyway, where Michael and Danny would go out doing this kind of satire of Ronald McDonald.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with their YouTube.
I just started looking and stuff after I saw the movie.
Oh, we got to see a Q&A with them because they were at the screening we got to go to at Arrow Theater.
Shout out
to American Cinematique. It's Cinematique, right?
So when I was there, the lady said Cinematech, and I don't know, you guys. We're like in this club, and we do not know how to say it.
We're part of this Illuminati club, and we don't know the name.
Yeah, it was a full theater. Like there was a giant, it was a giant line, and we had tickets. And then there was a line of like standby in case there are open seats. I'm sure there wasn't.
Yeah.
It was such a perfect packed theater to see this movie, and then to have the directors be a part of it too.
So we were in the member line. Everyone who wasn't in that line was in the basic line.
Yeah.
We got to go in first. And I got there pretty early before Brittany did because I was so excited to see this movie.
I was like, thank God you got here early because we would have gotten shit seats.
Yeah. And we were like pretty close to the front, so we got a pretty nice view of the directors.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, they were like really goofy. And when they showed up for the Q&A, I don't know, I guess because they're twins, they were laughing on sync. And I was like, that's so funny.
They have ADHD, which if you have ADHD, you knew it the second you looked at them. Like they could not sit still, especially the blonde.
That's Danny.
Yeah. And Michael's the one who keeps his hair darker, and he's a little bit more of a serious presenting.
He's serious. He's got more of a scruff look.
I just can't imagine them directing together, like how crazy that must have.
I know. They were like editing while making the movie.
Yeah. So I think the whole thing that they also had mentioned, it was supposed to be like a 10-week shoot, and then it got cut down to a 7-week shoot and then a 5-week shoot.
Yeah.
So if they had a location, they only had it for like 2 days or 3 days or something. So that's like what started them editing so rapidly, because they were like, we had to know if we needed to pick up shots. Like we had to know.
Right.
They couldn't go back.
Didn't they also say like the hand was like last minute?
Yeah, they got the hand last minute, and the person who created and designed the hand quit on the spot.
Yeah. The dude was like, peace out. Here's your hand. Bye, Felicia.
Yeah. It was so funny because everyone in the theater was just like, what? Because it's like, did he like literally put a demon in this hand and then just like bounce?
Apparently there were like 6 hands too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. In case like they broke one. Because they, when they did the montage scene, like,
yeah,
they thought like they might have broken it.
I wonder if he did, I guess I don't know, if it was a designer. I would think maybe they decided to put like a good weight in it, since people had to like reach their hand out and grab it and then act like they were possessed, because you know what I mean? Like you would have like dropped it or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the budget.
So like we kind of just mentioned about the shoot getting cut over again. I think they had said it was supposed to be 10 million and it got cut down to 4.5 million. So they just had investors back out. Something.
Oh, damn.
But guess what it made? Within a month of it coming out, the gross at this time that this was recorded, 43 million. So 4.5 million budget and then 43 million gross.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Really, really cool. Really happy for them. It's like
horror wins.
It's inspirational, like especially for creators, like just creatives. Like these 2 brothers making a YouTube channel, just like shooting the shit, having fun. And then here they are like making this like very profitable, popular horror movie that A24 picked up. Like, and
this is like their first feature-length film, because they've only done YouTube.
Yeah. This is like their debut to the industry. So what did you think of the movie?
Oh my God. I thought this movie was such a fucking blast. I had a feeling it was going to, just because it felt fresh. From watching the trailer, it looked like it was taking like the classic story, but like reinventing it. Yeah, I loved everything about this movie. It had the scares, it had the suspense, the bone-chilling moments, especially like watching it with the crowd, like hearing everyone's reaction to it. It was just like such a great movie experience.
Yeah.
And definitely under the radar. Yes,
totally. I agree. It was like the perfect experience. It's part of the reason why seeing horror specifically is so much fun in the theater. Because the scares, the comedy even, like there are some pretty fucking funny parts, like especially if the mom.
Yeah.
She literally...
What time is the party? The party.
And she just goes, "You're good." Because the kid isn't like revealing anything. Yeah, she was like, yeah, it's the comic relief essentially. Yeah. And I love that moment when she says something like, "If you're lying to me, on God, I'm gonna bust your ass." Like, it's so funny.
There was something else that she said too.
Yeah, smoking. You better not be high again.
Yeah, and it's like, whoa, she was wrong to say that.
Why?
I'd be telling my mom.
Why?
Because it's like, don't tell my kid what not to do. She's not your child.
Oh, I see. Yeah, like if it's illegal. Yeah, that scene's funny because she says it to Mia, and Mia's like totally caught off guard because her best friend, who's the daughter of this woman, had like told her mom this, and Mia didn't know. So she's sitting there, she's like, "Oh, you told her I smoked weed?" Like, yeah, she got high one time.
But that does kind of like go with the theme of the movie.
True. It's a gateway.
It is. But before we jump ahead, let's talk about that opening scene.
Yes.
Because that's like what really hooked me. We're like jumping into this like party scene, and then all of a sudden like this kid stabs his brother and then he kills himself in front of like a crowd of people at this party. And I was like, way to start a movie. Like,
right? Yeah, it was so violent, and like you just get thrown into it. And it's interesting too because like that whole scene, it's when it starts, I think we talked about this, but a lot of the theaters that we went to, like the mix is really loud. But like that's good, I think, for a horror movie. Oh my God, wait, we have to talk about one of the funnest things about seeing this movie.
Oh, okay, going back to Brittany's funnest moment.
Okay, so they have like 27 production company titles before the movie plays.
Oh yeah.
It is, and I'm not exaggerating.
No, and everyone was cheering.
Like
and
every
then
2 seconds.
Finally, the movie's starting.
Yeah. It was so funny.
Did you notice the lady that's in the party? And it's like someone's mom.
Yeah, I did. Okay,
I
yeah.
was like, why is she there? Is she like chaperoning? Like,
I know the second time I saw the movie, I was like, this is weird.
I know. If anyone knows why that lady is there, please drop it in the comments. Why is this lady partying with a bunch of teenagers?
Seriously.
So we do get this introduction after the party. We see Mia first.
Oh yeah, we meet Mia briefly. Her mom's dead.
Yeah, and she's at a funeral. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, whose funeral is it?
It's like it's actually not. It's a 1 or 2 year memorial.
For their mom?
For the mom. And I think that might be something they do in Australia. For our Australian listeners, let us know if that's typical. But the second time I watched it, I like paid more attention to, because when she goes to her friend's house, the mom says like, I'm sorry, I wish I could have come to the
memorial.
Yeah, but it's definitely like 1 to 2 years after the actual funeral.
Interesting.
And the way they kind of talk about it, it made it sound like it's like a regular thing you would do
in Australia.
Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, so we get introduced to Mia, and then the other character, Riley. His name is Riley. Riley is the kid. He's like the brother to Mia's best friend. And we kind of get introduced to them, all three of them, at the same time, basically.
So his sister, Mia's best friend's name is Jade. Her real name is Alexandra Jensen, and her character's name is Jade. And then Joe Bird plays Riley, her little brother. Yeah, and you kind of immediately find out that Mia is close with, like she's picking up Riley, and like they cut to them singing Chandelier, which I loved.
Yeah.
So good. And Sia's Australian, so.
Oh, that makes sense. I was like, such a random song, but that was funny though. The whole scene was cute.
So cute. And it is a song you like bellow when you're, you know, but that's when we get this scene that kind of tells the whole movie.
You're talking about when they stopped for the kangaroo. So they stopped the car because there's a dying kangaroo on the street. And I'm just like, aw,
yeah.
I didn't know kangaroos were still around.
Are you serious?
I thought they were extinct. Oh my God. But then I was like, oh wait, those are Tasmanian devils.
Tasmanian tigers.
Tasmanian tigers?
Yeah, that's what's extinct. We extinct them in the 1930s because humans are terrible.
They're not called Tasmanian devils?
Tasmanian devils aren't extinct. It's Tasmanian tiger you're thinking of. Dude, Tasmanian devils are fucking cute though. And look nothing like the cartoon.
I know. I was like, I only like the cartoon one.
Whenever I like see things from like Looney Tunes and stuff like that, it's like funnier as an adult. Like like the Tasmanian devil he literally it's so funny. And like, why does he turn into a cyclone? I mean, they can go 13 kilometers an hour. Is that fast?
Right.
Everything we were saying about Australia is so funny to me. We're like we're just like, then you see a kangaroo.
We're Americans.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, back to the kangaroo on the road.
Yeah, so the kangaroo is dying. It's in the process of dying. You can hear it moaning. It's really sad.
Yeah, and she's basically, contemplating on like either killing it or letting it die.
Yeah, Riley is like, you can't.
You gotta do it because that thing is like miserable.
Yeah, he's like,
it's
he's
literally
suffering.
crying.
Yeah.
To be put out of its misery.
Yeah.
So that's Mia's like conflict in the whole movie is like
Mia can't do it. That's the thing. She can't do it, and then she just leaves the kangaroo to suffer and die on its own. Not cool. Just kidding. I mean, who can? Because she.
I'm pretty sure you would have left to die too.
No, I would have called animal control or wildlife. No, I would have. That's what you're supposed to do.
And they didn't even do that.
I know. Riley was really disappointed that she didn't. But like and I think she felt that her only option was like, I can leave or run the kangaroo over to like finish the job.
Imagine if she did and it was still alive.
Oh my God. And he's like, you did it wrong. You gotta go again.
Okay, I think it's dead.
Yeah.
So then when we get into the movie, we go to the party.
Yeah, we meet the people in her life.
And for some reason, like, her best friend is like being distant with Mia.
She's just like really into her boyfriend.
Yeah, she's like really trying to get laid.
Yeah, and
but he's like a really good Christian boy.
Yeah, probably like
gay.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
we'll get into it, but
we'll get into that scene.
Yeah, but Mia does say something where she's like, "Why haven't you answered any of my calls or texts?" And then they just kind of gets brushed over, but it is kind of weird. Like, I feel like if someone hasn't responded to you for like a couple days and you're best friends, there's no excuse. You can be like, I've just been texting my boyfriend like nonstop.
But maybe that's just like how teenagers are now.
That's true, but would she have said something?
I don't think so, because I feel like teenagers who are like really into their boyfriends, when they get into a relationship, they like to just close off the people in their lives.
Yeah, for sure.
Until like they break up with them, and then they're all of a sudden like, oh my God, you want to hang out? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is always so fun.
So then we finally get to this party, right? Mm-hmm. And this is when we get introduced to the hand. We just know like there's this whole trend that's happening. Like it's like a game where they conjure spirits and then you're like possessed or whatever. And that's all we get until we finally see at this party like what actually happens, which is like the really freaky part.
Yeah, and it's like Mia and her, I think mostly Mia brings it up, but she's seeing people, like just classmates posting like Snapchats of like people doing this possession, and then her friend's like, oh, it's so fake, and she's like, Mia's just like, oh, I think it looks fun. And then her friend goes and asks Haley if they can come to a party, and I felt like Haley was like kind of into the friend. That's a vibe I got.
Haley was into Mia?
Mia's friend. No, Haley didn't like Mia.
Right.
Haley was like, why'd you bring them here? They're such a buzzkill. And Mia's a buzzkill because her mom died.
Yeah.
She's a kid and her mom died of potentially suicide. She's going to be a bummer. Well, come on. Who wouldn't? I think Haley is non-binary in the movie. They're trans males / non-binary in real life. But I think the character Haley is, because I never hear them have like called she or anything. Right. Yeah, they're just, but that's the thing is like, I'm like, just like kind of the vibes I got between Haley and Jade. I was just like, there's something there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Haley
me too.
was like my favorite character.
Dude, I'm like, that's the thing is like when they they've announced there's going to be another movie we don't know if it's a sequel or a prequel, but one of my thoughts about it was like, oh, what about Haley? I was like, I feel like they have, because they're such a big part of like the experience of because I know it's not going to be Mia. And if it's not Mia, I'm like, I still want those two in it.
Yeah, I agree. But then like, how are they going to tell that story if like, they're not going to play with that hand again after like all that shit happened? But who knows?
I mean, yeah, they were like, we don't want anything to do with it now. But the end of the movie, that hand is like in a different country.
And I think like the directors said that there were two.
Oh, No way.
Yeah, they said that there's one hand, that's the one that's in the movie.
Yeah.
But the other one, they don't know where it is.
And is that the one that is at the end of the movie, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Once they start playing the game, this is like when it gets really scary because you get to see the spooky people as what they quoted. The directors quoted spooky people. I knew it was coming, so I wasn't like jumping out of my seat, but you jumped.
Oh, I sure did.
And then the second ghost that we see, I was like, ew.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, the ghost that you see is like this woman who looks like she's a swamp thing.
Yeah.
And she's got this like one bulging eye. And I'm like, what is this character? It's like straight out of like Scooby-Doo or something.
Yeah, that was a thing. I think part of the reason I would jump, well, the way they shot it, it was like perfectly, like a perfect jump scare. But also the ghosts just like, they look so fucking gross.
And it's so good too. Like even with the sound design too, because you could tell like this ghost is supposed to be like water related and all you hear is like gurgling sounds.
Ugh. I think the movie, they kind of just like they assess or something like that these spirits or whatever are coming from, what's it, purgatory?
Yeah.
I think purgatory is a Catholic thing where it's like this place of like confusion that you kind of go to like nowhere because you don't know if you're going to heaven or hell or something.
They're in the upside down.
There you go. But
I love when they get possessed, all the camera movements. Mm-hmm. They do the camera tilt.
Yeah.
So good.
And I like how they did the people. Like I like their eyes turning completely black. It really helps kind of like transform them. And then their faces get kind of gnarly, like bruising or something.
Yeah, like swollen.
Yeah.
Like their lips start turning blue. I loved it.
It was so good. So when you get possessed, you do this whole like you light a candle and then you grab the hand and you say, talk to me. You see the ghost and you say, I let you in. And then the ghost enters your body. And then before 90 seconds, right? Before 90 seconds, you have to blow out the candle, which closes the portal.
But then when Mia was possessed, there was like something that she was like, something else was in the room. Mm-hmm. And it was like looking at Riley, like it was like wanting him.
Yeah, it was so creepy.
So that part was really like bone chilling because like the things were moving around the house.
Yeah, the door slams.
The door slams. Anyways, so the ghost like pretty much like takes over Mia and she goes over the 90 seconds. And that's when you know like, oh, fuck. Mm-hmm. It's about to go down. So they go back to Jade and Riley's home and Mia's there. And Riley's like fucking scared because the ghost wants a piece of him. We don't know. But we know like something is following Mia because she went over the 90 seconds.
Yeah, we're pretty sure the candle got blown out.
Yeah, the candle was blown out.
Okay.
I remember that part.
But yeah, in the whole scene with her and Riley, it's like raining and like it's really moody and he's like, what was it like? And she's like, it was amazing.
Yeah, and the way that she describes it, it's like, wow, it sounds like you were high.
Yeah, it does not. Yeah, it's like definitely.
And that's why I was like, this movie is about drug addiction. They're like obsessed with this drug and they can't get enough of it.
Ooh, that whole montage when it's just their group. So they're not having a big party. It's just like kind of like a more private group at Jade's house. Mm-hmm. Is like a fucking masterpiece of like an edited montage, like with the music and all the shots, like the energy, like everything about it's so fucking good. Like when the guy's clapping even, you know, like.
Yeah. It's so on point with the song.
Yeah. And then Mia, the actress, can like sing in French. So she's like singing like Edith Piaf or something. Like I don't know what she's singing, but like it's so good.
Yeah, that was like so iconic. I need the song.
And then when Mia's like and she looks so funny when she's possessed because she's like really scrawny and like cute.
Yeah.
And her eyes just look huge, but they're like smoking her up. But it's like
oh yeah,
it's like so funny.
And they're like taking selfies with her and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like.
But yeah, then Daniel.
That's the boyfriend, right?
Yeah, Daniel, the good Christian boyfriend, he decides to do it. Which, I'm sorry. So you're like uber Christian, like celibate or whatever. You won't have sex with your girlfriend, who apparently you guys text nonstop, but you'll let a demon possess you?
They're not demons, they're spirits.
Spirit possess you. I will just say, someone who is like raised Christian, that's like definitely a no-no.
Yeah, but Christians believe in that, right?
Yeah. Angels, demons, spirits. It's really funny we're mentioning this because so culturally, like the word spirit, demons, angel, like all of these different words are like essentially the same thing, but like we use them differently. So like in different cultures, the word demon means the same thing as like angel or something. You know, like it doesn't have like a negative connotation. Mm-hmm. My dad was like, do you hear the Walker Arts Center, which is back in Minneapolis? He's like, you're the Walker Arts Center is going to be doing demon summoning or something.
What?
And I was like, I'm not even going to get into it. Because it's as simple as like that's an art center. Like, you know, demon doesn't mean like, I don't know. It's just funny. This is a somatic movement meditation designed to help you befriend your shadows. That sounds lovely. That's what I'm saying. If they wouldn't have used the word demon, this would have a totally different reception from the public. But like I was saying, demon is like a word you technically can interchange with spirit, angel, etc. So now you know.
Maybe they were trying to target the gothic people.
Those gothic families. They're little bat kids. I mean, it's definitely sexier to say demon, so maybe it's just like marketing, PR, like...
Ooh, demons. I want to see some demons.
It's time for my kid to do their demoning summoning because I want them to to like learn and love their shadow. You know what I'm saying?
Aww. Okay. So back to Daniel. He does the hand and he gets possessed, and this spirit is like this horny ghost.
Yeah, they're really fun. They're like very different. They're very like expressive and external with their sexuality.
Yeah.
So basically the spirit, this is why I think Daniel might be closeted or something. The spirit specifically like humiliates Jade and is like, he disgusts you. When you touch him, it makes him soft. Like really, because she's clearly insecure about him not like being sexual with her. Because it's like, what guy, you know, like she's a young teenage girl and she's been set up to think that that's what teenage guys want to do.
Right.
So like the fact that he doesn't, but I don't know, just like the whole thing of it made me, it was either like it wanted to attack Jade specifically, or I think that it was telling some sort of truth because the spirit is inside his body, so maybe it can like attach to his thoughts,
right? And
his thoughts might be like, you know, maybe he is confused in his sexuality and whatever, and the demon's just like a fucking cunt.
And at one point, like he was on the floor and his butt was like up in the air. I was like, is he getting fucked? And then the dog is like licking him.
And then, yeah, he's like flipping out. Jade's like, this isn't cool. We're leaving. And then Riley, sweet little baby boy Riley, who had already been like, you know.
He's only been watching up to this point. And he's like begging to play with this hand. He's like asking Mia like for permission. Yeah. And then like the sister is like, no. You're not going to do it. Why do you want to do it? So you can tell it.
Look cool in front of, because his friends, she's like, you want to look cool in front of your friend.
Yeah, exactly.
You tell your friend that you wanted to sleep in my room last night because you were scared. Just mean older. He says, I hate you, right? Very teenage.
So then the sister's away and Riley's like going to play with the hand now because Mia's like.
Play with the hand.
He's going to play with the hand. And he's like, just 60 seconds or whatever.
Yeah.
Or 50 seconds.
Yeah. And
I don't remember.
Dumbass is like, okay.
And that's when we get, so when he gets possessed, it's Mia's mom.
And it's like they've never seen an obsession like this, probably because he's so small and young and like vulnerable that the spirit's like fucking in there.
Yeah.
And he gets fucked up.
Yeah. And that scene kind of reminded me of Hereditary when he's like slamming his head. With Alex Wolff.
Yeah, shout out. Naked Brothers Band. Yeah, I think that was the hardest part of the movies was whenever Riley was smashing his head again. Something about whenever a head is getting injured, that's like the worst, I think.
Yeah.
And obviously whenever it's a kid or someone young or something, it's like even worse. But
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he was going to die for sure.
Well, Mia was like, because they were going to close it, but because her mom was talking through Riley, the second time I watched this in theaters, I got a little teary-eyed. Because I was like, oh my God, the mom is like talking. You can hear her voice through him.
Yeah.
And it's just so tragic because like she wants peace from her mom and stuff. But then like the gate is closing and Mia's like, no, wait. Riley gets possessed by another ghost and basically they're all trying to like rip him apart.
It's some mean old lady.
Is it?
Yeah, because we see her as him in the bed later at the hospital. And who's in the...
I thought that was an old man.
Oh, maybe. I don't know, someone mean as fuck and scary looking. No offense. The second time too, and even the first time, I remember like it is very like, as much as like Mia's making a lot of poor decisions, it is so sad that she had a really close relationship with her mom. And she's a teenager and like really confused about her mom's death. It's like, did you kill yourself or did you accidentally take too many sleeping pills? Because the whole issue is, did you leave me? And that is like extremely painful. Like, Mia is in grief and total confusion. And then so if you feel good letting these spirits in, you're looking at like basically your baby brother in her eyes, and all of a sudden it's like, and they're saying exactly what she wants to hear, which is like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I'm so sorry. And it's exactly what she wants to hear. So she can't even, like, she's not even probably present to like understand the consequences of like not closing the gate in time.
They didn't even blow out the candle.
Girl.
Yeah. When she like puts her hand in front of his head before he smashed it. Yeah.
Oh, he does. Yeah, because her hand's fucked up. The poor sister comes in and she's like, what the fuck? And it's so scary.
Yeah. And Mia shows up to the hospital. She tries to apologize to the mom, and the mom's like,
get the fuck away from me.
Right.
Because it's like, I've basically entrusted you with my family. I've welcomed you in, and my son is unrecognizable and like in a coma.
All this stuff is happening, and now Mia's like seeing her mom's ghost.
Oh yeah, and Mia also, the entire movie is like she's like pushing her dad away and like, because
the dad won't tell her the truth of what happened. She really doesn't know like what happened to her mom.
Yeah, like what did he tell her?
That she took the wrong sleeping pills. Yeah,
so he set it up as it was an accident.
Yeah, but she was like clawing out of the bathroom.
Right. Which happens. That's what happens to a lot of people during that, because you have that, you know, your reptilian part of your brain is like, survive, and then so like you're clawing, trying to get help, and that's so dark.
It's very scary. Let's talk about that spooky scene. You know the scene.
Yeah, so I think the scene that like really stuck out for all audiences is because it's like got a little kink and it's just really goofy, but also the jump scare in that scene is so good.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of how like M. Night Shyamalan, he'll like pan to like some dark corner and then something from that corner will come out slowly.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, because like in the theater, Mia's looking, and then it cuts to like her point of view, and I'm not seeing anything. And then it's just literally like out of nowhere, just this like old lady comes out,
and she's got pearls on.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. And Daniel is asleep next to Mia.
They're sleeping upside down too. He's sleeping upside down.
Yeah, it's what you do at sleepovers when like you want it to be clear that you're just friends. You sleep head to feet.
Oh, I didn't know that. I never had sleepovers like that. Yeah, so this spirit with the pearls, I'm gonna call it Pearl.
Oh my God. That is her name, right? Pearl? I love it.
So the spirit, she has a kink. She loves to suck toes. And that's what we see is like this ghost is like sucking Daniel's feet.
Like deep throat.
Yeah, and it's like weird but scary, and then it's like funny.
Yeah.
But it's so good though.
It is so good because it's really unexpected, and it is this kind of bizarre, like disarming thing for me because it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
Yeah.
I'm scared. Like, it's terrifying, a fucking ghost in your room. That's like some old lady in pearls. Like, what? And then she's sucking the guy next to his toes. Like, huh?
I wish that the movie had more of those moments though.
Oh, really?
Because everything else was like dramatic.
Yeah, it was kind of like the only haunted house moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The spooky scenes.
Yeah. Just seeing Riley being torn apart in hell or whatever
Right.
it is.
Because he's like still possessed.
Yeah. You know what I thought about? I was like, the second time I saw that, I was like, I wonder how do you cast for that role? So if you get cast as that role, are you like, oh, I'm an old, ugly, scary...
What is the character description? We need someone old, scary, pointy nose, jacked up teeth.
And you gotta be like 93 years old. Mean
and
eyes.
too old to function. That
Yeah.
you have to be in a wheelchair the whole time in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't like have any... I forgot about that because they're like... And I think at this point, yeah, so then Mia, Mia's like, this is not happening. She's sleeping and like the ghost is in her dream or something. And
Oh yeah, that's like the beginning of that dream.
yeah.
Which was really cool how they transitioned.
It
I was
is
like,
cool. And Daniel's like, what the fuck? Which is so funny.
Mia, why are you sucking on my toes?
Yeah.
And the part when they regroup with the friends.
Yeah. And Jade didn't know, and she just looks at Daniel and he's like, Jade. She's more like, wait, why the fuck are you sleeping at Mia's?
Yeah, why were you
whoa.
at Mia's? And then Haley's like, why was Mia sucking on your toes? That part was funny.
It's so good. So there's the whole thing with the dad.
Yeah, I mean, we finally see that later.
Like she goes back. This is like Mia fully, like after Riley gets possessed, like in this like whole state of confusion with the spirits because she hears her mom at the hospital bathroom.
Wait, she fucking took the hand.
She took the hand.
And and she's trying to connect with
That's right.
her mom again.
Like, oh no, Riley. But then also I think like low key like, mommy. And then also she's like, mom can help.
Right. And that's where drug addiction comes to play. She's obsessed with the hand. The drug.
Yeah, it's like her comfort. Because what do drugs do? What do addictive drugs do? They numb the feelings we don't want to feel.
Oh my God.
It's self-medicating.
So many layers.
So many layers.
Like an onion.
Ooh, a nice crispy onion.
Blooming onion.
Hold on. Where do you get a blooming onion?
Where?
Outback Steakhouse.
Shut the fuck up. It comes full circle.
Michael and Danny, you better listen to this fucking podcast because we see you.
Yeah. Where were we? What were we talking about?
She got the hand. She wants her mom.
Yeah. And mom's like trying to tell her, you need to save Riley. Mm-hmm. Basically kill him.
Yeah, he's like in a lot of pain and you need to do this as soon as you can. Kind of like the kangaroo.
It goes back to the kangaroo.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because Riley was telling her, you got to kill a kangaroo. And now her mom, who she had spoken through Riley, wants her to kill. What if it's the fucking kangaroo?
What do you mean?
What if the kangaroo
Shut the fuck up.
is the possession?
Oh my God. The kangaroo came and possessed her.
Yeah. It's pissed because she didn't fucking kill it. And it's like,
The kangaroo's like, payback's a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she sees the kangaroo like hopping around.
She sees the king. Yeah, bloody.
Yeah.
At the hospital.
Is she seeing the ghost of the kangaroo?
There you go.
The kangaroo came back.
The kangaroo came back.
There you go, you guys.
That's what it's going to be.
About the kangaroo. He's watching all of this.
Ooh.
Or it's watching all of this.
That could be kind of cool. We still get Haley.
And we can get Tasmanian Devil.
Like an actual animation.
Mom tells her that she has to save Riley by killing him. She tries to connect with the dead again with the hand, and she sees that little girl, the hospital, because they try to like close the portal with Riley at the hospital and the hand there, but they try to say like talk to him or some shit.
Yes, she's trying to be like, be a chain between Riley, who's like unconscious.
Yeah, Mia connects with the little girl, and the little girl is like, I can take you where he is. Mm-hmm. And that's when we see that Riley is being torn apart by all these spirits, and it just looks like fucking hell. It looks like a fucking orgy, and they're tearing that poor twink apart. It's mortifying.
That scene to me felt really bad. Like I was like, this feels like little Christian in me who is like superstitious and shit was like, this is like demonic. Like this is, we're like welcoming spirits around us. But I was gonna say, have you ever read Dante's Inferno? It's a guy who like goes to the afterlife, and it's like he's going through the different layers of hell.
I've heard of it, but I never read it.
I feel like it could be a really good movie visually. But
I bet. It sounds...
one of either the center or very close to the worst layer is Judas, and he's in a frozen lake upside down. So just his feet are sticking out of the frozen lake, and then inside the water, his body's being torn apart by other people.
Oh.
Like something, I think, unless I'm like mixing. But anyway, something... So just the idea of like naked humans ripping you apart is like, it's like, that does sound horrible, and visually it was just so dark.
Yeah, and it's like the editing too is so fast that like you can't really tell what's happening. But at some point I thought I saw like someone eating a baby.
Dude, gross. You probably did.
Let's quickly talk about the final scene when...
So good.
Yeah, this part was like really well done. So Mia fails to kill Riley.
She's going to kill Riley because her spirit mom, who I actually the entire time, I don't think it's her mom.
Yep. It's
Some
a ghost.
people do. Yeah. I think it's an evil demon who's like trying to get a spirit. And that's a thing, because remember, so when she's having the dream, I think she's sort of she's just seeing things differently, because when she's in the dream, she sees the lady sucking the guy's toes. Where in reality, she's sucking the guy's toes. So then in that scene, she sees her dad coming to attack her. Where in reality, she's seeing someone else attack her. Who's attacking her? Because that's why
it's her dad.
I know it's her dad, like, because she stabs him in the neck. But who did she think it was?
She thought it was her dad.
Her evil dad.
It was basically the hand transformed as disguised as the dad.
Yeah, and like the second she grabbed those scissors, you knew.
Imagine it was the giant kangaroo busting through the door, and it's like she's fighting against the kangaroo.
Dude, have you seen what muscular kangaroos?
Oh yeah, Kangaroo Jack.
Yeah, that part I was like, no, with her dad, I was like, no, because that's like so tragic. And then thank God Jade finds him. But yeah, and then just the rest of the movie is just like, it's like the pacing, speeds up, and it's like this. You're like as confused as Mia, and you're like led to think Mia is like under the spell of some spirits who are just trying to take Riley. Like she shouldn't kill Riley. Or should she? Like we don't, like it's like this whole thing. Because if Riley really is being tortured, you would, my God, I would like shoot him. That's if I knew for sure. Yeah. Because it was horrible when he's being tortured. Right. And who knows if that's even what it was,
So, she's like taking Riley to this busy ass freeway. Yeah. We see Riley as this old man.
Yeah, we don't even see Riley. We see the spirit.
Yeah, but we know that it's like the spirit inside Riley. Yeah. But she fails to kill him, and we basically see her lying on the street.
Yeah, but when Mia walks into the highway or jumps, it cuts to we're inside of a car of like a random couple.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it was really effective, but also like,
who the fuck are these people?
Scary. Yeah, and then it's just so like I fucking love the rest of the movie. Like it's such like a great ending. Yeah. Mia wakes up. She's like in the hospital.
She's now in the Upside Down.
She's in the Upside Down. And she's like in this kind of glowing hospital. And she sees Jade, Riley, and the mom. And he's all better. He's completely healed. You would never know anything had happened. And they're a perfect family. And they're ready to, they're leaving. And then she sees her dad. And like no one can hear her. Mm-hmm. And her dad, for her, it's like her dad was reaching out to her the entire movie.
Right.
And she rejected him. And now she's reaching out to him and he can't hear her. She's, payback's a bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
Says the kangaroo in the corner.
Oh my God. So I was talking to Katie about this, who I had also taken Katie with me to my second screening, provided by A24. Shout out to A24.
Yes.
Yeah, that theater was like totally, it was like me, her, we made friends with this girl next to us who we like fully talked to this girl for like a while. And then she's like, okay, well, bye. I was like, we're not going to exchange like any information. I was like, hey, bye forever.
Oh, damn.
I know. Katie has seen it 3 times or 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah, and she said every time she watches it, she's like, whoa. And she had explained to me
the colors, right?
Yeah, so she was saying the colors, like there's scenes where it's very yellow or like very tungsten heavy, and then other scenes where it's blue. And I think she was saying the yellow scenes are when Mia, I might get this wrong. I need to like fucking watch a movie like to confirm this or talk to her, but I think the yellow scenes are when the spirit are there.
Are we talking about the lighting?
The light, yeah, the lighting of the film. She's
also wearing yellow throughout this movie.
Yeah, she is. Like, change, dude. Take a shower.
Even the candle is like yellowish.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember. Anyway, but she just noticed a lot of like, like color theory this is her thoughts on the ending. The 2 times I've seen it, I interpreted the ending as Mia is in her own purgatory and she sees, okay, so Riley's okay. Oh my gosh, my dad's alive. But then the devastation of like, oh, I'm not there, and then that amazing shot of the candle doing a hair light. I love that.
Yeah.
But so Katie was like, it's her worst nightmares. It's that Jade's family is fine without her. And her dad, just like whatever. And then I think she said something like, she was like, yeah, that it's not, and none of that's real. Like, it's just Mia seeing in her, like,
oh,
do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I was thinking about that too. Because, like, how's Riley, like, all healed up? His face was already fucked up. Like, he can't be healed after that.
Yeah, because his face was fucked initially. And then when there's that whole scene with Jade and the mom bathing him, which is so sad, and then he starts smashing his fucking face on tile and it's like breaking apart. Like he would have brain damage. I don't think it's possible that he wouldn't.
Right.
His like frontal lobe area, like there's no way.
Also, that old man is totally still in that body.
yeah
He's still in purgatory himself.
Michael, the blonde twin.
No, that's Danny.
Okay, so Danny, he had talked about where the story came from. They did say part of this whole thing is they've had mental illness in the family, and like, the movie does try to really express depression and Danny was saying for like work, he would just sign up to do to be a medical experiment basically, and he would remember this. He was talking about this. He would go to the hospital for like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And so he'd spend a lot of time at the hospital, just like, sitting in bed. And that's kind of like he was there and then started writing the story.
Right.
And I was like, you are wild. That's his like source of income is like he just like goes and is like a guinea pig.
Yeah. He was a character.
He really was. Like, I don't think Michael would do that. Like, they're so
different.
Yeah.
Even though they're like twins.
Yeah.
Like the other, Michael is more chill. And then Danny is like the chaotic one. He's the Tasmanian devil.
Yeah, they definitely have like a really interesting dynamic. That's why I hope someone was shooting behind the scenes or something, because I would just like to see who's doing what. Are they like tag teaming or like, you know what I mean? Like how, because this is directed by both of them. It doesn't say like one or the other. And I'm just,
one was probably more the producer side.
That's what I want to know. And if not, were they just like a nightmare on set the whole time, like arguing?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, because why would you do this? Why would you have a YouTube channel and make a movie? But I'm just for like shits and giggles, I would love to just see what that's like. Like, is it like when we see them be interviewed? That was just like the last thing I thought of. But okay, so Mia, we get the shot of her stepping into frame.
Oh, we're still talking about this ending.
We're almost there. We're almost there, guys. She steps into frame and there's a hair light behind her. It's all you see. And it's like this badass. It kind of reminds me of the cover of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Oh. Totally.
She sees a light.
She sees a light.
At the end of a tunnel.
Yes. And then she gets closer to it. It's a candle.
Mm-hmm. It's a table with a candle and a hand is reaching
and then
out.
Yes. She grabs it.
Yeah.
And then it's like a group of...
Yeah. Group of guys. They
a
look
group
like...
of guys. Definitely is a different country because they're not speaking English.
It's probably South America.
Yeah. It's some sort of Latin country.
But I love that visual of like the candlelight, just because she's in pitch black, and the candlelight, the distance, because it like that light of the end, like come to the light, you know, like it's so like
it comes full circle.
Mm-hmm.
On a scale of 5 onions, how many onions would you give this movie?
It's 100% 5 out of 5 for sure. This is a 5-star movie. It's insanely impressive for two, like, how old are they? 30? Twins? Yeah. Just had a YouTube channel, just like made this like fucking badass movie. Like, it's dope as hell. How many onions?
I give this 5 onions too.
Hell yeah.
I loved it. It's super fun. And I think the cast is really great. Would love to see more of Sophie and Zoe. Mm-hmm. I can't believe someone said The Haunted Mansion was better than this. I was like, insane. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, also, fuck Disney.
I get so confused when a movie like this that I'm like, it's a bit of a different story. You know, it's not the same. It's not like they moved into a house and it's haunted, even though I love those movies.
Right.
Like, it's different. Great fresh cast. Like, you'd only recognize the mom. And I don't know, it's like so fun. Like, every aspect of the filmmaking is, I think, excellent. So when people are like, I really like it, I'm like, if you don't like horror, fine. I'm not gonna, because I don't like a lot of comedy, and so it's really hard for me to be like I'll be like, I get that it's good, but it's not for me. When they do like horror and they don't like it, I'm just like, I feel like you're trying, like, you want to be contrarian. Like, that's the only thing I think is happening. I'm like, yeah, you do. You like the movie. Stop.
Right. You just gotta stick up your ass and think that you're better than everyone. That's the problem.
Yeah, I'm like more so thinking about like when I see things on TikTok and I'm like someone's like, here's what they got wrong or something, and I'm like, I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, when people are like that and they're like that about like every movie they see, I'm like, why are you watching movies?
Right.
You have the audacity to think you have the authority to speak in such a way.
Right. Let's see you make a better movie.
But not only that, art is art. Mm-hmm. Right? So like there is no like yes and no, like correct and wrong. Exactly. There is everyone's experience, and you can just say, it wasn't for me. I didn't like it. And you know what?
To each their own.
This movie's a bloomin' onion.
That you can get from Outback Steakhouse.
Yes!
And on that note, Brittany, where can we find you?
You can find me at humble_book_reviews. And then I'm also at Britty_Gusto. And then whatever. But I just want to say I made it Talk to Me TikTok. And as of now, it has 10,300 views. So
wow.
Thank you very much. Okay, but where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at somecallme_Ricky. And if you liked this episode, you can find us on Instagram at Paper Screen Podcasts, YouTube,
Spotify, Apple.
Smash that like button.
Until next time.
Bye. Bye.